I'm Georgia Mullis, and this is the 4 toxic money mindsets to remove as a business owner. Women have to actively work on their money mindset. Most guys just have it automatically. Main character energy, money mindset is just natural to them, right? It doesn't even occur to them to have to put an effort into our right to earn money, our right to charge money, our right to have an income of our own, to be financially independent, to be financially free, to be wealthy. I have seen so many women in business make so much money without the mindset work behind it. Give it, spend it, find any way to no longer possess it. So we've got to do the work in the background. We've got to do the money mindset work to feel empowered around our decision making. If you think about actresses, so many female actresses at the end of their career end up with no money because they have trusted their agent and their financial manager and their accountant to make all of the decisions around money. And at the end of the day, they find out they've got nothing because they didn't take responsibility for the decision making. They placed too much trust in other people and they ended up with nothing. Bankrupt. It does happen to guys sometimes too, yeah? But when it happens to them, it's like a story. It's like a shock. But with women, it's just kind of almost expected, right? You know, rags to riches and back to rags again. I've seen so many women in business feel completely lacking in any power to make decisions, either in the business or outside of the business. They don't pay themselves a wage. A lot of women, depending on the industry they're in, like cash because they don't have to explain where it came from. It has been natural and needed for women to hide their money. I was reading a story of this lady in the 1600s, and she was on her 4th marriage. Her first marriage was for money, second was for status, third was for love. He passed and she married again, a 4th marriage. As soon as they were married, he wanted the deeds that she held and all her jewels, and she wouldn't give them to him. Okay, so he locked her up in an insane asylum. Of course he did, because that's what men did to women who had money and if they wanted their money, right? And eventually he actually passed and she got out and she had to hide them. She never gave up the location of them. Not only are women used to needing to hide it, they're also so judged on how they spend it. And last week an astonishing study came out, and it's something like 70% of all advice towards women is how to save, because we make irresponsible choices. And advice towards men is how to invest, because they know what to do with money. They're sensible with money. They're good with money. And like a set of golf clubs is an investment. It's just the stories that are still woven in the 2024, right? And we know why. We exist in the patriarchy, right? We exist in capitalism. Yeah, all this stuff is true, but we've got to figure out a way to work within it, right? So this is just like a massive, story that can be absolutely true. So, no gaslighting here, but if I want to earn more, I've got to work harder. And that is from that mindset of not allowing support. It is completely natural and a normal reaction to think, well, if I've got to have to work harder, I'm already working as hard as I can, then I can't have that. Yeah. And that is absolutely true unless you can do the work to allow support, allow things to be easy, buy help, ask for what you need and ask for what you want. So I work with archetypes, right? And that can be totally the case with several of the archetypes. They don't value their own time. There is understanding that needs to happen around how valuable your time is, right? So I've got a client, okay, their day rate it's over £800 a day, right? That's their day rate. And they are spending days doing something that someone else's day rate is about £200. But they are still in the mindset of, I've got to do it myself. I'm the only one that can do this. Yeah. So there's all the work around, okay, your time matters. It's safe for you to pay others to do work that you don't need to do. And there's lots and lots of tips and techniques and things to do around it. But yeah, basically the underlying message, if I want more, I'll have to work harder, is not allowing support. A little tip that I use with my clients to combat that, right, is twice the money for half the work. Twice the money for half the work is every time you think, like we're maxed out, right? I can't fit any more. I'm already doing too much. And, people can make themselves extremely busy in their business. Unless they've actually filled up with client work or, however they run their business, they can get extremely busy on marketing, creating of images, and procrastinating. A really useful little state changer is, okay, twice the money for half the work. Sometimes our unconscious likes to switch it around. Twice the work for half the money. Because for most people, that is actually what they believe. And we're brought up that time is money, that we have to swap our hours, our day rate for this. I love it when that comes out because it's like, oh, it really comes to the top, right? The unconscious belief that we've got, self-limiting belief, call it what you want. But it comes to the top and it's like, right, okay, it's there, it's out there. Now, what is it actually? Okay, no, it's twice the money for half the work. Let's keep doing that again and again and again, right? I'm still living it, right? I'm a product of the product, but I've got a money coach, right? I've got a business coach. Yes, absolutely. Specific examples. Delaying in getting support building my YouTube channel. Right? Putting that off for 9 months and then thinking, oh no, I'll wait. Yeah? Oh, wait is such a fabulous sabotage. Yeah, so it's weight as in time and it's weight as in our body weight. So many people think, I'll just wait. I think that one of the most important things about what I do and how I do it is I get it. I have been the person that thought they had their tax sorted, because I trusted my team, because they were the experts. I'm the one left with a 40k tax bill. Nobody else is paying that tax bill. They don't care. Yeah, that was just a mistake. Oh, we didn't realise. You're the one left with how to handle that situation. At the time, I was bitter, right? I was mad. Now I think it was a great lesson because if I made that mistake at 40k, I'm not going to make that mistake at 400. And that is something I come back to again and again and again. That every time I've made that feels devastating at the time, I can go, okay, this is a beautifully timed lesson. When I 10 times this, I'm not going to make this mistake at 10 times. I love what I do, but it's not about the money. This is such a story of how we're allowed to be women in business and in the world and how we're allowed to exist because we care, because it's nurturing. If you don't, you're a bitch, right? Or ambitious. Like how ambitious is a dirty word when we use it about women, right? I would do this, I get paid, that's a bonus. I'd do it for free. No, you wouldn't. You deserve to be paid, and no, you wouldn't. There is so much work that needs to be done to kind of underneath all that for all the versions of the stories that make that a block to having enough money to thrive, not just survive. That I love what I do, but it's not about the money. It's a really nurturing viewpoint, mindset to have because it's safe. Most women are celebrated if they are extremely vocal and ambitious when they are doing it for a cause. And it's very, very different story when women are just doing it for themselves. So you've got the whole mama bear philosophy, right? You think about what that woman could have achieved if she was not spending so much time on the small details. If she had used her enormous talents in a way that a man would without even thinking about it. I serve, I deserve. It's safe for me to charge in full. It's safe for me not to discount. It depends on where they're coming from and where they're at because there's so much toxic positivity in business coaching, in the world, aimed at women. Where are we at, actually?